Yo, what's up guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's gonna be a very important tutorial about the breathing levels. First of all, when I say breathing levels, I don't mean techniques like the inwards direct or when to breathe while doing your beats because you run out of air, but how much you breathe and how you breathe while doing certain techniques. For example, with the K snare, with the inwards K snare, like this is the same technique, just in different breathing levels. Okay guys, so before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that this is a very complicated tutorial, and if you don't understand anything, then please just ask down in the comments and I'm gonna do my best to explain it to you afterwards, or just head to my Instagram. I'm gonna link it down in the description, so you can ask me questions there and I can take the time to explain it to you again. Alright, so for the beginning I'm gonna show you 3 different beats or 3 different techniques in different breathing levels so you can see what I mean. So the first breathing level, the second one, and the third one. Okay, so what even are breathing levels? Like said in the beginning, breathing levels are how much you breathe and how you breathe exactly while doing certain techniques. For example, for lip rolls or throat bass, you breathe straight from the lungs and you breathe lots of air, like breathing inwards and breathing outwards from the lungs. Or for example, like humming through the nose, and while humming through the nose, doing a beat on your lips or on the tongue. Like this. Okay, so the first breathing level is what you just heard, the all the techniques you do while humming are techniques in the first breathing level, like the kick drum and the spit snare. And that exactly means that for the kick and the spit snare on the lips, you really only use the lips and not all the muscles around your mouth and the throat to create the sound, which gives it a bit less power, but it makes it possible to hum in the background without getting the humming interrupted. Like if you would do a normal kick, you couldn't hum while doing it, like the humming gets interrupted. Same goes for the tongue. If you do a click or a hi-hat, like that is like with the kick drum and the spit snare, you really only use the tongue, the tip of the tongue, so you don't use anything else, just like so you can hum in the background. Alright, so before I explain the second breathing level, I'm gonna skip to the third one, because then it's gonna be easier for you to understand the second one, which is a bit more complicated. Alright, so the techniques in third breathing level are all the techniques where you really gotta breathe from the lungs, like all that kind of stuff. Like that doesn't go in the third breathing level because you don't really breathe while doing them, but like said, all the lip rolls, tongue roll, click roll, all that stuff. What's also important to know about that is you can sometimes combine techniques in the third breathing level if they go to the same direction. Like, for example, inwards you have the lip roll and the click roll together. Doesn't sound too good in my opinion, but you can combine them because the lip roll is on the lips, the click roll is on the tongue, and yeah, they don't interrupt each other, they're not in their way. Alright, so about the second breathing level, it's a bit complicated because you don't really breathe while doing them, but you can at the same time not hum. And that's because you will need all the muscles around your mouth and a bit of the throat, which blocks the humming, like this was all in the second breathing level. So explained by the example in the beginning, you have the rim shot and the inwards K snare. They are both produced the same way, but in a different breathing level. For the rim shot, it's in the second breathing level, you only drag a little bit of air in while removing the back of the tongue from your top of your mouth. And the inwards K snare is the exact same tongue position, the exact same movement with the tongue, but you really breathe in through your lungs. Now in the end I'm gonna do a little beat it's gonna be a mix of all the breathing levels together, and I'm gonna show you at what time I use what breathing level, so you can get a feeling for it. In that beat you can easily hear the first and the third breathing level, because the first breathing level is just everything I do while humming or while doing something through the nose. The third breathing level is everything I really have to breathe for, like the all the beats I did while doing it, like those are the techniques I do at the second breathing level. And please, I know it sounds confusing, but that's not really important to know when you do some beats. But when you're trying to learn a new technique, for example, the rim shot, many people breathe in and only get the K snare and ask themselves why that happens. And therefore I made this tutorial, so when I explain techniques in the future, I can just say, you do that in that breathing level, and you go back to this video, watch it again, and you know what I'm talking about. Alright guys, I hope you understood everything. If not, feel free to just drop your questions down in the comments and I will answer them. Or like said, go to my Instagram and ask me directly there. I will answer everything and I will read through all your comments and do my best to answer to you. See you in the next tutorial, guys.